So it's finally happened today. Final Fantasy VII has released on a Nintendo platform, and if you are a bit younger, you might not understand why this is a pretty big deal. If you were around and playing games in the 90s when this game first came out, there were a lot of rumors leading up to it that this would actually be a Nintendo 64 game, and then it ended up going to the PlayStation, and from there, it really helped cement the PlayStation and Sony in general in like the gaming world. This was a massive shift because Square was putting a lot of their games, pretty much all of the Final Fantasies, on Super Nintendo, and then coming over to that generation, it really hurt Nintendo when they left and went to the PlayStation using their CDs, which this was actually a 3-disc game, so getting it on a Nintendo 64 cartridge would have been pretty much impossible, and it was talked about heavily as to that being the big reason why they made the shift. It was better for Square, so they made the move. But here it is now, finally on a Nintendo platform. It is on the Switch. This is Final Fantasy VII, and I was trying to figure out where to record the gameplay for, and I talked about it a bit on Twitter, and a lot of people told me that this was going to be their first time playing this game. And I thought, okay, I probably shouldn't go terribly far in. This is in the beginning of the game, and I have this game on so many platforms right now, it's insane. Like so many. I remember I even picked it up on Steam and beat it again there. So I've been enjoying this game since it came out, and have beaten it way too many times, and I like it. It's a very good Final Fantasy game. Is it overrated? It might be, yeah, but it's still one of the best Final Fantasy games that I played, and that might have a lot to do with nostalgia and everything. So, Final Fantasy VII, as you're seeing here, is a turn-based active battle system, because it depends on if you want to do wait or if you want to do active. But they brought it over to the Switch, and it appears to be the Steam version, from what I can tell. And the Steam version came with some enhancements, which I'll talk to you about a bit about here. So you have magic. You have attack, and then you also get limit breaks and everything, and you level up your characters as normal. I'm playing as Cloud. In the beginning, Cloud is acting as a mercenary and working with Avalanche, who's a group that's going around trying to blow up Mako reactors right now. So that's kind of what we're doing currently. I'm going to have Barrett join up here in a little bit as well, and he'll actually be part of the party. So let's go ahead and get him real quick. But the story I thought was good. It was interesting, and they had a lot of spin-offs from it. So I really didn't want to get too far in, because after like the first disc, I remember things start getting really crazy and start picking up. So it is a longer game, and it is a 3-disc game, so it takes a bit of time to get going. I recommend sticking with it. But they do at least get you into battle right away, so you end up, obviously, as we were seeing, fighting. So Square added some extra stuff to this version of the game, and I'm actually going to show you those here in a second. They have 3 times speed, so they will speed up the game very, very rapidly, and they also have a no battle system, so you can not have to battle anyone. It basically turns off enemy encounters. And they also have a boost mode, I believe is what they call it. I call it kind of a cheat mode. But when we get past this elevator part, where they're going to have a bit of dialogue, I'll show you what I'm talking about. So I'm now outside of that elevator, and the way the boost and the no battle stuff works is by clicking in the left or right stick. So if I click in the left stick, it actually does 3 times speed, and then everything moves faster, including battles, as you're seeing here. So if I go through this very quickly, you can pretty much get through everything, but from what I could tell, if you have like the active battle system on, everyone attacks a bit faster as well. So if you're going to do 3 times, maybe turn it on like wait and everything, which is pretty funny. And if I want to not have any battles, I click in both sticks, and now I have no battle, and I can turn on 3 times. So I can just sprint everywhere. I mean, I could just roll like this, which is really funny. So I guess if you want to do some exploration without having to worry too much about enemies popping up or random encounters, you can do that. I don't know if this was their attempt to make it a bit more modernized with this stuff, or add maybe something a bit easier for people to play who aren't used to the game, but it does make the game a bit different from what we were used to back in the day, which is pretty funny to see that, where it's like no battles at all, 3 times speed. The 3 times speed option will come in handy later on when you are when you are grinding in the game, which there will be points where you will end up grinding. That 3 times speed does come in handy. It is a massive time saver, so I'm okay with that. The no battles thing is I guess that's right too. But this is the part that's hilarious. So let's say you get into a battle, right? Where look, they found me, back attack. Actually, if you run and then turn and then let go, you'll turn around out of the back attack. But anyway, if I'm losing or something, you click in the right stick, and I have boost mode, and I all of a sudden have my limit breakers and everything, and it refills your health. That is what I call the cheat button, the get out of jail free button. Basically, it makes you super powerful, obviously, and you can crush whatever's in front of you without any issues. We're actually coming up on a boss, and we'll use it on the boss, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Because this was so funny when I saw this. I said, wow, that makes the game tremendously easy. I think it even gives you like invincibility too. So we'll actually test it up here with the boss, okay? I'll go ahead and save here. Creating save file. There we go. Okay. So have our save file. Let's go down here. We're coming up on the Mako reactor, and if you've played the game, you know you're going to come up on that first red scorpion-looking boss. There's some materia. Now, materia is basically the best way to describe materia, I guess, is magic, essentially. I guess. Because as you get materia, they'll do different things. They have slots. You level them up with AP. And it's another thing to have alongside of leveling up your characters. And you can customize your characters with it. So we're going to go through this dialogue. He's going to have this bit of a psychosis flashback that Cloud suffers through most of the game. And if you played Crisis Core, you'll kind of understand why that's happening. Which is a game that everyone should play, by the way. Crisis Core is awesome. Everyone should play it. Yeah, the only way I think you can play it, though, is on PSP, so Square needs to do something with that. Anyway, we're going to get into this boss battle here, and you're going to see a bit of what I'm talking about when it comes to boost mode. So, let's let him hit us, I guess. And, because it'll refill my health and everything. But I have limit breaks right away. Basically, you have, from what I can tell, you're just hitting him with limit breaks all day. I don't have it on now, but I have the limit breaks from the last battle. So we'll hit him again. And his tail still hasn't gone up. Alright, so we'll turn boost mode on. Everyone has their limit breaks all over again. And I guess this is like the handhold mode if you wanna just see the story, I guess. That's the best way I can describe it. Because there I am with my limit break again. Oh, he's gonna hit me too. Yep. So I took damage, but then it refills right away. So I guess if you have this and 3 times speed on, this battle is gonna go so fast. Look at this. It's over. Yeah, turn him off. So that is one of the features they added along with no battle, along with 3 times. They added, if I remember right, they had like Steam achievements, but they don't have them here because I guess Nintendo doesn't have the achievements obviously for them. But that is essentially the stuff they added. Now looking at the visuals, here's where I turn on definitely no. Oh, what if I turn on 3 times with the clock? Oh no, we gotta run. We gotta run. So. They give you plenty of time to get out of here, though. So that's not a big deal. But, this was it's a funny thing to see after, obviously, playing it back in the day when it first came out. I gotta help him. He's stuck. Which is really funny to see all these little features they added. Because, technically, the boost mode and everything will make the game seem so weird. Like, technically, you can't lose a boss battle if you're willing to hit that right stick. Some people are going to find that it's cheap, obviously, but I guess if you never press it, it won't matter. There's that. I do see it as kind of cheap. I do like the 3 times speed, though, like this. Turning off the battles, I guess, isn't as big of a deal because you're basically affecting your level at that point, and if you're over-leveled, you don't want to run into fights anyway. But that boost mode makes most of the game kind of unnecessary. So, but visually... On screen here, they smoothed it out similar to how Steam smoothed it out. So we're actually running into a bunch of people here. I won't use boost mode this time, but I still have my limit from the fight before. So the visuals are smoothed out. It's not as... The character models are smooth. It's not as pixelated or anything as you'd see with a PlayStation 1 game. But the backgrounds are still obviously blurrier. But it works well here. I think it looks great in handheld mode. It's fine for an older game. And I really wish that something like Final Fantasy VIII would end up on a lot of other platforms as well with this kind of treatment, because it looks good. I mean, it works fine. I'm really happy if you've not played this game before and you're gonna get to play it now. I'm pretty happy, because this is gonna be a cool game to see other people really experience. I was a little surprised with how many people haven't played it yet, but it's I think it's really cool to see that. So we're almost actually out of here. And that will be, I guess, the first... Unlock this. That's technically the first, I guess, like, tutorial dungeon, I guess you'd call it, with the boss and everything at the end. And they have, I believe they have a cutscene and stuff later on as well. And the cutscenes in this game were the biggest deal back then. Like, when you would actually get, like, a cutscene to happen, it was like you would be playing until that cutscene just to see it. Because back then, visually like this, it was like, wow, this is amazing. It's never getting any better than this. And then Final Fantasy VIII came out, and it was. So it's good times. But that is the Mako reactor. Just blew it up. And from there, things start getting a bit crazier as we get further into the game. And I recommend people check this one out. It's Final Fantasy VII. It's $17 on the Nintendo Switch eShop. First time ever on a Nintendo platform. And because of that, it's a big deal. But the game itself is good. If you've never played it, I recommend picking it up. Make sure you guys hit the like button if you liked the video, dislike it if not, and I'll see you guys in the next video.